Hi, this is Daniela with Bestie Life, and today we're going to talk about mental fitness. What is mental fitness? How it helps support us in our everyday life, different ways to start building your mental fitness, and how to start practicing it and applying it every single day. So I'm so excited for you to hear this episode. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's talk about ways to improve your mental fitness, to have the beginning of that routine, almost like the same way you would hire a personal trainer to start a fitness routine. We're going to look at having some of those same training techniques for our mental fitness. And so the first thing is to have a plan, have areas that we want to work on, and to recognize that there's not just one way to work on it. We're going to mix things up. We want some diversity, number one, to keep ourselves from being bored, because when things are boring, we stop doing them, but also because we are not one-dimensional, and so we need to approach things in a multifaceted way to help us strengthen those muscles across different areas, to help us cope in different ways, to be able to pivot, adapt, have a different perspective, see things differently, as well as to incorporate different strategies in achieving that overall goal of mental fitness. So let's start reframing the way we think about mental fitness, our mental wellness, our mental health and well-being, almost the same way we think about physical fitness. Our mental fitness involves so many of the same habits, routines, structure, consistency, practice, all those things that help us proactively and preventively maintain our physical health is how we maintain our mental wellness. It's not those things make us not able to get hurt. It doesn't mean we can't experience some minor pulls, strains, areas of weakness at times, but it's a structure that keeps us flexible, that helps us to be able to adapt, pivot, set boundaries, and be resilient. Those things that help us find that balance every day. It helps make it easier to handle things because we've practiced those things enough time that we're not waiting till we're in a crisis, in a crunch moment when things are hard. We've practiced those things that we can do them automatically without thinking about them. And it's that automation that helps make that handling of things so much easier. And it's again, that routine that helps to make it part of our lifestyle, that makes it seamless, that makes it almost seem easy. And in a lot of ways, it can be. Success doesn't have to always come from hard things. Success can come from things being simple and easy, but by doing them consistently, by doing things in a way that feels effortless, is how we then find that success in a way that also has that ease and breathing room on a day-to-day basis. So the first step is to keep it simple. Like I said, finding success doesn't always have to come from doing hard things. By keeping it simple, it's going to be easy. We don't avoid easy things as much as we avoid hard things, as well as it's going to be easier to remember what you're doing. It's not complicated. I have this go-to artichoke spinach dip, and it's honestly the simplest thing in the world, but it's always the first thing that's scarfed down, the first thing that people ask for copies of the recipe of. And so sometimes having that easy go-to thing is what's going to be the most successful versus something that's super time-consuming and complicated. The second thing is to be consistent. By practicing every day is when it's going to be the least stressful. It's going to be the easiest thing to turn to in a moment of stress. It's going to keep you from being stressed. By practicing it consistently is how you're going to integrate it as part of your day-to-day life, as part of who you are. And so you start to get the benefits of it by building consistently on each habit that you create. I had someone say to me the other day, she has seen all these self-care posts where they talk about self-care isn't brushing your teeth. And I said to her, I agree. The brushing your teeth part might not be the self-care, but that could easily be the opportunity to add that next step because you are already brushing your teeth. That's a habit you have already integrated into your day. And so to now use that opportunity to add whatever it is you're looking for, whether that's your 5 minutes of journaling, maybe you're doing some calf raises, maybe that's your time to plan your day and your time. Maybe that's your time to just do nothing, to put on your favorite song, to do a little dance, to smell your favorite lotion and take a moment to breathe. That can be your time to add on those next 3 to 5 minutes that you say you can't find. And so by adding that onto a habit that you already have, call it habit stacking, is how you start to create the consistency with that routine, the consistency with that new habit. And depending on whatever goal you're looking towards, is how you can then start to create a system around it. In the work that I do with clients, we talk about, depending on what they're working on, whether it's improving their sleep, improving the way they think about money, maybe it has to do with their organization in their home, their cluttering, the way they decorate, their personal sense of style. We can find opportunities throughout the day to take that goal and to then make it part of what creates that mental fitness for them, what creates that kind of consistency in finding confidence, finding peace, finding empowerment, finding whatever it is they're looking for. And these areas, they do help all contribute to that mental fitness. You think about, if you're stressed about money, mentally you are not going to be in a good place. If you're not getting a good night's sleep, again, your mental fitness is not going to be well. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be irritable. If you're not eating right, if you're not moving, all of these things will tie into your mental fitness. And so we need to be able to have a system in place to address and make sure we are consciously kind of integrating routines and practices to strengthen ourselves in each of those areas, to have a strong fitness routine, not from a physical standpoint, but from that mental resilient place. So let me know in the comments below what part of the mental fitness tips and routines you plan to start implementing. I would love to know what works for you, what maybe you need a little bit of help with. Reach out to me. I will definitely talk you through it and help you come up with a plan and a strategy. Also, if you found these tips helpful, please go in and leave a 5-star review. That helps this podcast get shared with more women. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.